But I think to add on to that, like I think it's just an unfortunate reality that a lot of the people in our generation face is that pressure of what are people going to say, and it always it and a lot of the times it's culture first over religion, and that line between culture and religion is not divided at all. It's kind of like intertwined because a lot of the cultures that we live in or that we come from have religion embedded into the culture. So I think that's just an unfortunate reality that people have to live with these pressures coming from their parents and the people around them that gives off a lot of toxic vibes, and it ultimately ends up being like detrimental to the mentality that a lot of us have in our generation, you know.
I just want to add to that. When I was 26 and I did what I guess everybody else wanted me to do, I had the same thought, Yasmin, that you had in your head, that every decision I'm making now in my life, they're always going to be in the back of my mind. But my father said something to me that was really important, and he said, I when I was 26, I disclosed information that I really want to be a writer. And writing in the Arab culture is it's very rare. It's almost a myth to have a Muslim woman to be a writer. And he said to me, and I said, but like, I'm 26. By the time I get the book out, it's going to be a few years. I'm going to be 30. Like, it's just a lot. And I know what people are going to say, that she's left, her degree. And he said, but you're going to be 30 anyway. So why not be 30 and happy and do what you want to do instead of being 30 and miserable? Time is always going to go by. People are always going to talk. That will never, ever change. So this idea, Yasmin, for you to do something and expect people's thumbs up, it's never going to happen. And once I understood that, it was almost like my father said, go forth and conquer. People are going to talk. So you're never going to satisfy people's expectations. And why should you? Who are they to you? They've never walked a mile in your shoes. They don't know anything about your life. They don't know family context. They don't know any of the struggles. And unfortunately, it even sometimes comes from your own family. They have these certain expectations of you. But that's their job in a really weird way. Their job is to have expectations of you. And that's just the way it is. But I truly believe that nobody goes through life or understands life the way you do. And so I don't know, it makes me sad when I hear people, live their life based on people who already don't like you. Not that they don't like you, but they're not going to be there when you finish your degree and clap for you. Like they're not going to do that. Yeah. So if they're not going to be there, so no, I'm going to do what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
Sorry, I just wanted to add that.
Yeah, no worries. No, and like adding on to what you said, like thinking about since day one, people have always been talking. They've always been pointing fingers. And I'm like why should I even care? Right? And the thing is that the thing that like pisses me off the most is that they're constantly pointing the finger at me or like other people, but they're not pointing the finger at themselves and not realizing that they got like their own mess. Like literally focus on yourself. But yeah.
If I may add on to that, like sometimes for me when I get these like certain comments from certain people, I like to personally take a step back and just look at it from their perspective. Sometimes it's good to picture yourself in other people's shoes and maybe ask yourselves why they're saying that. Are they saying this like, is it coming from the heart? Do they want really what's best for you? Is that why they're saying it? Or are they actually saying it because of pressures from other people, right? So I think sometimes like I really feel like I'm in a situation where, my parents are saying something that may seem like somewhat not really hurtful, but like they may downplay me or whatever based off of some decisions that I make, but I know that it'll be from the heart. I know they want what's best for me, and that's why they're saying it. And sometimes I look at their advice that they give me, and I really, really think about it to see if it's, like I can actively listen to their advice, and I can choose to either take it or not take it. But regardless, I should be able to acknowledge it fully just to show them their respect as well, right?
I remember Rawa mentioned something earlier, which was like, when you're on your deathbed, like you don't want to let your like passions and like dreams and like purpose like die with you. I just want to use that like deathbed example, because sometimes when we try to do things for other people, even if it's people who are really close to us, such as our own mothers and fathers, something that this was like a random thought that came into my mind when I was in grade 12, just thinking about like what I want to do. I was like, let's say I'm in second year and like, God forbid, like my parents pass away. Like, then what happens? Like, does that mean I am now going to restart university and then do what I want? Or like, am I just going to continue this? Like, what happens at that point? Because there's no longer anyone to please, and you're already down this path. So it's like, in like a very convoluted way, it's like you have to be a little bit selfish in that point, in that sense. So yeah, just wanted to kind of throw that out there. It's a bit of a dark thought to have, I will say, but helpful nonetheless, in my opinion. But yeah, I guess we wanted to end this conversation off by, this is honestly just like an opinion. So no right or wrong answers, but do you guys think there's sort of like a gender component when it comes to like these pressures and whatnot? Like, you know, like Yasmin said, sometimes the thought of like, oh, if I pursue like a certain career, is like, is someone going to ask for my hand? Or if I spend too long, you know, just grinding it out, like, am I going to be too old? Is there like an expiry date on me? Or like, I know that's a thing that a lot of females, especially in the Muslim community, kind of unfortunately go through, and the gossiping aunties obviously don't help either. So yeah, what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah. Expiry. I'm on the shelf life. They put me at the back in stock. Apparently, when you're 31,